Hello everybody, this is Jockster and welcome back to another video. This one is a little bit different, or a lot different from what I usually do. This is not scripted, by the way, so I'm sorry if things are kind of messy. I want to talk about some things that are very concerning about this game and the company that is responsible for it, that is NetEase. I feel like it's easy to point fingers and, establish some morals and then never follow them. And I admit that I've been a victim of that mentality myself for quite a bit now. So the first thing I want to talk about is the usage of AI in the game, right? Because the CEO of NetEase has expressed before that they use AI in the development of their games, in the design inside of their games. He hasn't said anything about IDV specifically. So for a long time, I thought we were safe about the usage of AI in this game, but some things have been raising some eyebrows, especially in the art of the new event. And I can show you right now what I mean. I'm talking about this Visitor from Beyond that is like the anniversary event. Oh, can you see the bottle that is displayed here? The limoncello bottle. You can see it right here more clearly, right? If you click on the event tab, oh, they changed it. They changed it. Because before you could clearly see that this image right here, and I have screenshots of this and I will put it here. This image right here, it was upscaled by AI. And now they changed the position of the bottle so it's not as obvious as it was before. Okay. Not only that, they also used AI in the daily check-in here. There is speculations that this pizza here is AI generated. You can see the weird crust, how in some edges it doesn't have like a proper form. The ear-shaped tomatoes. Here in this lemon ricotta puff roll, you can see the edges are weird as hell. I must say that this is speculation purely, and there's also speculation about a pair of icons, I think, that seem to be AI generated, but the only thing that we could see for sure was that image that was AI upscaled. And I know some of you might say, well, it's just an image upscaler, what's the harm in it? The thing is, we have no idea the extent in which generative AI is being used inside of this game. The CEO has already appointed not only that he likes using AI, but that AI is foundational to the development of NetEase games. Equally, there has been reports that generative AI not has only been used in the programming of said games, but also in the design and art. I don't know about most of you, but for me, any amount of AI usage is completely unacceptable, especially for a multi-billionaire company that can pay artists and for a game that has such a creative fandom space where people express their love for their game in such beautifully creative ways. And the creativity aspect has not only been confined to fandom spaces. Officially, IDV has hired and worked with multiple artists to do their art, their official art, their promotional art, character design, costume design, and that artistic dimension I feel like is one of the most appealing aspects of the game. So for me, using AI to cut corners and be lazy is just such a ginormous betrayal, not only to the artists they hired and are hiring right now, but also to the fans that love this game and are willing to put so many hours of their lives, not only playing the game itself, but engaging creatively outside of the gameplay. It is honestly deplorable to see such a big, multi-billionaire company that can hire as many artists as they want, cutting corners and being lazy and not caring about us or about the quality of the game or the experience of the fans, or at least not enough to give us something that is human made and is genuine and is real art. And I feel like I am too weak to stop, right? I am so emotionally attached to this game. I have this channel that I love so much that is basically centered around this game. I have my friends that I play with every day that one of the biggest connections that I have with them is this game. And I know this is the case for many people. I myself, I am autistic. So for people that have it also, you know how a hyperfixation feels. That grueling thing that it literally consumes you whole. And that's what this game has been for me for the past almost, what, 3 years or even more than that. And many of the reasons why I chose IDV over a game like Dead by Daylight is because of the artistic qualities of it. The style is endearing, the art direction is endearing, the character designs are mostly gorgeous, the costume designs are mostly like so appealing. And that requires human creation. That level of quality requires human creation. I don't feel like I am doing too much or asking too much when I feel like those aspects of the game that I love so much are in danger when the company is feeding us AI slop and hoping for us not to notice at all and not to complain at all, just because it's something so quote unquote small, like a poster or a image upscaler or an icon. And I think that same principle applies to the next issue that I want to talk about, that is the blatant colorism and whitewashing of dark-skinned characters of color that we have in the game, specifically William, that is Forward, Enchantress, and Batter. Let's start with a little introduction, okay? This game came out 8 years ago in 2018. Since its release, we have a total of 5, maybe 6 characters of color. And that is Mercenary, Forward, Cowboy, that is not confirmed, Enchantress, Batter, and finally we have Antiquarian. In 8 years of release of this game, only 6 characters of color and 1 is not even confirmed to be of color. Mind you, there are a total of 51 survivors in this game. Only 3 of them are dark-skinned. And another one that is Naib Zubedar. And I tell this to people and they don't even know, because you see he's white and has blue eyes. He is supposed to be Nepali. He is supposed to come from Nepal and be a Gurkha soldier. That is like the first whitewash character was Naib Subedar. And that blatant whitewashing is since the beginning of times, of course, but even in his older skins, you could see, well, they got rid of his original face design, but you could see that at least he had like a bigger nose that could be interpreted as more ethnic. The fact is, they never really leaned into his cultural background. We don't have any cultural references in any of his skins, not on his character design, not on the tone of his skin. In the end, the fact that he's Nepali is nothing but a prop. Then we have Cowboy, that is not even confirmed to be a person of color, but is supposed to have a darker skin tone, as we can see in most of his B tiers in his older skins, I guess. Like, that is the tone that his skin is supposed to be. And then you have, like, Candleman already is whitewashed as hell. And then Twilight Voyager, he's just a white man. And why is that acceptable in any level? And you can say, oh, well, he's not confirmed to be a person of color. Well, let's see about Forward, William here. He is canonically and very obviously a black man. A black man that, in fact, has racism written into his lore, which is incredibly ironic of NetEase to do. Because if we take a look at his whimsy skin, that man is 10 shades lighter than what he's supposed to be. And even in his most recent skin, the champion skin, you can see that his features are erased. He's completely changed. But Forward here is not the only victim of things like that. Oh, no, because we have Patricia Derval the Enchantress. Since 2018, that's when she was released, There has not been another black character in the game, okay? Just so you know. And just like in Forward's case, just like in Mercenary's case, Enchantress is not only a victim of whitewashing, she's also a victim of having her features completely erased. And the first example, I think, is this skin right here, Usher of the Sinners, that comes from the Ephron essence that has been out for quite some time now. But I want you to pay attention not only to the skin tone, but to the features. And we compare it to Benediction, that is considered to be one of the last skins that preserves her original skin tone and her original facial features. Benediction, she has a wider nose. She has bigger lips, and she has a chubbier face, which in my opinion is completely adorable. And on the other hand, we have Usher of Sinners that not only whitewashes her, but also gives her a rhinoplasty and a buccal fat removal, and also makes her lips smaller than they originally are. This also happened in her recent skin here, Nocturnal of the Night, that's her Nympho Ward skin. That is a completely different woman. Her facial features have been completely erased. She has completely Eurocentric features. She doesn't have a white nose anymore. She doesn't have bigger lips anymore. She's a copy paste of all the other girls in IDV. There is no skin, though, that comes even close to the level of whitewashing and erasure of features that is her Valentine's Day skin. And I'm going to show here on the screen. What is that? She is completely washed out. She's like a pinkish gray skin tone. And that can also be seen on the portrait they gave us. That is a completely different woman. And worst of all is that they got it right in the official art. They just couldn't do it in the game. And then ultimately we have Ganji Gupta right here. That is supposed to be a dark-skinned Indian man. As you can see in all of his B tiers, in his original skin, he has dark skin, even in his S tier lava cake. And then you have this. Okay? I want you to... The difference is subtle, but it's there. Okay? The difference between this one, for example, okay, and this skin right here, that is like his most recent A tier. And that is the most subtle example, like I said, because Ganji has been horribly whitewashed in recent merch, official art, in promotional art, and also has been victimized by NetEase's awful writing of his 3rd birthday letter that is also horribly racist. The worst aspect of it all, I think, about all of this is that NetEase is in complete capability of making these very necessary changes. Not only because they have been releasing many optimizations to older character models, to accessory effects, etc., but also because there has been optimizations that have been demanded by the public. Like, people were complaining about the hairline of this fuck-ass lawyer skin, and they were heard. NetEase actually optimized his hairline. And when I say we, I mostly mean the NAU server, complained about racial issues, colorism issues, whitewashing issues that are a reflection of real life problems and struggles, it's like we don't exist. And ultimately, the main message of the colorism aspect of these problems that I'm talking about is what they're saying is Eurocentric features, lighter skin tones, are more beautiful and more profitable. While these ethnic features, darker skin tones, larger lips, larger noses, they are not as desirable, they're not as beautiful, they're not as profitable. So it's okay to just erase them from the game when it's people of color that we're talking about, people that have been underrepresented, misrepresented, excluded from spaces since centuries ago. And that is precisely how systemic racism works. Everything is designed to accommodate the Eurocentric beauty standard and exclude those people that do not fit on it. It's in the media we consume, it's in in everywhere. It's everywhere. It's that constant propaganda that tells us this is beautiful and this is not, this is desirable and this is not. And worst of all, it's saying having, it's worth misrepresenting a group of people that have been historically marginalized in order to make more money. That is like peak capitalism. And the worst part is that, and this is an argument that people that say that this is not a real issue use. Oh, but this is a Chinese company. They are, catering toward Chinese beauty standards. Well, surprise, surprise. Modern Chinese beauty standards are heavily influenced by Eurocentric ideals. The thin nose, the fair skin, the thin hair, everything. And do you think that Chinese people all look like that? No, they all come in different colors. They are people of color too. Asian people, even East Asians, even if they are fair-skinned, they are people of color too. And of course, I know there's people that are going to say too, like, there are black people and people of color that have more Eurocentric facial features. And that's true, but that was not the case of Enchantress. It was not the case of Forward. They had very distinct ethnic features that were erased in order to perpetrate an ideal that is harmful for all POC, including Chinese people. And that is something that happened with Genshin Impact as well. That is a game that I specifically stopped playing because of the blatant erasure of people of color while using their culture to make new areas and new character designs and music and what have you, utilizing this culture, robbing from it, while excluding the people that created it, that are part of it. And the thing is, I see this happening to IDV too. And of course, it's not the same magnitude because we don't have a whole region. It's different. It's a different approach of the issue, but it's the same issue nonetheless, where they like the culture, they like the history, they like the idea to make a character design. They like the brownie points they get for having 5 people of color, of which only 3 have darker skin tone, in a game that has over 100 characters? I don't even know. But they don't like representing the people that are making them money. And they also see us complaining about this, but still buying the skins, still spending $200 on an essence and $50 on a skin and yada yada yada. And I'm not trying to put the blame on the player base itself, because I know companies like NetEase like to prey on our love and attachment to the game to keep doing things like that. But that's precisely why our voices need to be louder, and we have to keep thinking or talking about these issues. And with all of this combined, my point will always be, this is such a massive failure from NetEase to its player base. From the AI usage in their games that, mind you, we don't even know the extent of, to the fact that they are completely erasing racial and ethnic features of the few characters of color that we have on this game. It's such a massive failure, and what I don't understand is there's still people trying to defend it, trying to defend the actions of a company, of a multi-billionaire company. They are counting on you to make those excuses for them, so they can just keep doing these things and doing them in worse ways and more prevalent ways, because they look at you and they say, well, you're complaining, but you're still buying, aren't you? And it's not like NetEase cares much about the NAU server. At the end of the day, we tried, we sent, complaints, we wrote emails, yada yada, but eventually we stopped talking about it. And we let things like these slide all the time, because there are multiple instances of racism of NetEase. We have skins that are racist. We have Ganji's birthday letter that was a mess and was racist. There is a character that is canonically into eugenics that is also racist. We have the very backstories of these characters. You know, they suffer from racism in their backstories. So you see this big ass company, greedy company, stealing from not only the culture of these people, but also the struggles of them that are a reflection of the struggles of POC in the real world, mind you. And in the end, they just perpetrate it. They end up being the very perpetrators of colorism, of racism, of erasure. They're whitewashing them, misrepresenting them. That is just the issue itself. And it is very frustrating to me because I love IDV. Like I said, I have so much love for this game. I have so much love for the characters, for the skins. I want to spend all my money on IDV skins. I love the gameplay. I love the community, even though it has like some very bad, insufferable parts. But I don't know. What am I supposed to do in face of this? I don't want to stop playing with my friends and having fun. I don't want to stop making videos for YouTube because this is one of the few outlets I have for my, to express myself, to find community, to whatever you want to call it. But the truth is, the issue is bigger than me. It's not about me. It's not about me at all. So yeah, I honestly don't know. So far, my solution was to stop spending money on the game. And of course, it's like, well, in one side, I'm gonna be sad to not have the skins that I like for the characters I love. On the other side, that just seems like such a non-issue compared to, well, racism and AI, I guess. Because I know these is gonna get worse, because it has been getting worse since the beginning. Look at the older skin tones of like Enchantress, comparing it to now. Look at the fact that before they didn't use AI at all, and now it's like fundamental to the development of NetEase's games for some reason. So these are all the things that just slowly build up on account that NetEase faces no consequences for whatever the hell they're doing to this game. And it just recently, it just gets more and more prevalent. And maybe it's an issue that has been going on for so long and we just didn't notice because it was never as blatant as this, as of now. And for me, the most admirable thing to do is to stop playing the game. For me, like I said, it's incredibly difficult to do, which sounds selfish and partly is selfish, as much as it's partly just a hyperfixation. Is not just simple to drop it. It has completely consumed me. But it is selfish too. I want to keep playing the game that I love and having fun with my friends. But I feel like it's not the right thing to do. It's I don't know. It's difficult. But the answer seems just so obvious that that's just the direction that I want to go in eventually. So yeah, I don't know if there's a lot of people that are going to hear what I have to say about this, but I am upset, and I've been upset for a long time now about this, and I hope you guys can, take this as seriously as it should be taken. I don't know. I hope some things can change. And if not, I don't know what I'm going to do with this game. I really don't know. Okay, that's it. Thank you guys for watching, and I appreciate the time, and I appreciate the support, and I'll see you in the next time. Or we'll see, actually. So, yeah, that's it. Bye-bye.